Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Soaring Wing Show. I'm your host, Trent Wright, bringing you all things Eagles every day. Today's topic of discussion will be Devonta Smith and why I think he's poised to have the best year of his career so far, a breakout season, if you will. And so, without further ado, let's begin. So just a career summary so far for Devonta. He's been an excellent receiver since we drafted him in the first round of 2021. He actually set the single season rookie receiving record, that is, for the Eagles in his first year with 916 yards. In that season, he also compiled 64 catches and 5 total touchdowns. This was when he was the true number one in the offense as a rookie, with no one really to back him up. No A.J. Brown there yet, just Quez Watkins, Greg Ward, and Jalen Reagor, who I believe combined for less than 1,000 yards that season in total yards of receiving. So he was truly on an island going up against the best coverage that the defense had to offer. There wasn't anybody taking the top off of the defense in that offense, and the Eagles actually led the league in rushing that year as an offense between Jalen and the running backs. So it was a very run-dominant offense, and he was still able to compile 916 yards as a rookie. So I think he established that he can be a wide receiver one in that rookie season. If we look at his numbers when AJ showed up on the scene, he has had, from the course of the 2022 season to the 2025 season, 321 catches, 4,103 yards, and 26 total TDs. So even with AJ in the offense, he was averaging over 1,000 yards per season as a wide receiver too. That's pretty decent production, and I think that this will go up now that he is the wide receiver one in the offense. But just for a comparison, we can compare that stat line to other receivers that have been in secondary roles, such as T. Higgins or Jalen Waddle. Matched up against Waddle during that same time frame from 2022 to 2025, Waddle by comparison had 269 catches, 4,024 yards, and 20 TDs, again to Smitty's 321, 4,103, and 26 TDs. So when Tyreek went to Miami and Waddle took the secondary role, he had good production, but slightly less than Smith's. And another comparison that I would like to make is his comparison to T. Higgins. T. Higgins is playing with the best receiver in the league, and Jamar Chase has missed a couple games here and there due to injury over the last couple of years, but his production stacked up against Smith's. He had 248 catches from 2022 to 2025, 3,442 yards, and 33 TDs. So obviously he outperformed Smitty in the TD category, which in my opinion there's reasons for. One, Cincinnati runs a much more pass-oriented offense, and two, T. Higgins is an excellent red zone threat. I think he's one of the best red zone threats in the league, just the way his body and his frame can box out defenders in short yardage situations. Not that Smitty can't do that, it's just not his specialty. So there's the reason why the TD production differs. But you can see that you can line up Smitty's stats against any wide receiver too in the league, and he's going to compare favorably, if not better than. So I think given more opportunities, he has the ability to really establish himself as one of the best receivers in the league when he becomes the number one target. Another reason I have to believe that Smitty is going to improve this year and really break out is with the departure of A.J. Brown. We can look at a similar situation that happened in Seattle. So in Seattle, DK Metcalf was playing alongside Jackson Smith and Jigba, and JSN had already established himself as a really, really high-level wide receiver too, even playing with Metcalf, who was the number one target in that offense, until he was traded to Pittsburgh. During his time playing with DK Metcalf during the 2024 season, JSN was able to compile 100 catches, 1,100 yards, and 6 TDs. So very similar to like a Smitty season playing with A.J. Brown, if you will. But when Metcalf departed and was traded to Pittsburgh, it opened up new opportunities in the offense for Jackson, and he really took off. He had that amazing season that we all saw last year with the 119 catches, 1,793 yards, and 10 total TDs. So his TDs jumped, his production jumped, and his catches all jumped because he became the number one option in the offense with DK leaving. The reason I bring this up is because Smitty is in a very similar situation right now with the fact that A.J. Brown was traded to the Patriots. Almost identical situation, I would argue. Now, A.J. is a better receiver than DK Metcalf for sure, but they were both malcontents, didn't want to be on their team anymore, and were very me-first guys in terms of really calling for the ball regardless of the play situation, not performing sometimes in big moments like AJ did in the playoffs, or DK used to have drop problems here and there in Seattle as well. So once those guys left, once DK left, you saw that Jackson Smith's production was able to explode, and I think a similar thing's going to happen with Smitty. AJ only compiled about 1,008 receiving yards last year. So between the guys that we brought in with Elijah Moore, Mekhi Lemon, Hollywood Brown, and then Smitty getting increased production, I believe that we can recreate AJ's yardage, at least his yard totals and his touchdowns in the aggregate between those four players. And I think Smitty is going to receive a majority of those targets. He has great chemistry with Jalen Hurts, which is another thing that cannot be overlooked. They played together in Alabama. They've played together since Hurts took over as a starter in 2021, and Smith has always been a reliable target for Hurts, and they have a great friendship on and off the field. So there's not going to be these sideline disputes where Smitty's yelling to get the ball. Smitty's not going to fail you in big moments like AJ did last year in the playoffs, because Smitty just simply doesn't have any give up in him. He's a smaller guy. He's always had to work harder to get open because of that, to beat press coverage, to beat man coverage, but he really has no quit in him. And I'm expecting him to increase his production just based on the increased target share alone. Another reason I'm very excited and bullish on Smitty's production this year is we got rid of Kevin Patullo. Kevin Patullo is the worst offensive coordinator I've seen for any team in the last 10 years. Just a fun fact about Kevin Patullo, his offense ran the league highest percentage of hitch routes last year. Now, if you don't know what a hitch route is, it's a 5-yard route where you simply sprint down the field 5 yards and then do a quick turn back towards the line of scrimmage. Last I checked, first downs are 10 yards. And because of this, I was often frustrated watching the offense last year because I would see 3 hitch routes on a 3rd and 7 where there was no chance for anybody to pick up extra yards after the catch. And Sean Mannion, however good or bad he may be, certainly won't be running the same things that Patullo did. That's why we fired Patullo and brought in an entirely new offensive staff. So I think the route concepts are going to be better, which will cater to Smitty's skill set more, because Smitty is a very diverse route runner, and he can get open in a variety of ways and in a variety of spots on the field. I don't think he needs to be a hitch merchant like Patullo wanted him to be last year. And also just the fact that he's going to be the true wide receiver one in this offense, he's going to receive a majority of the targets that AJ was receiving. And AJ received quite a significant portion of our targets in the 4 years that he played for us. So even bringing in Lemon, a rookie, and some other two veterans like Dontavian Wicks, Elijah Moore, and Hollywood Brown, 3 veterans, I might add, we really re-ramped this receiving corps this offseason. You can expect most of those balls that went to AJ to head in Devonta's direction. I'm honestly predicting a 1,400-yard, 11-touchdown season from Devonta, and I think he's capable of doing this. If you look at AJ Brown with his peak with Jalen Hurts, AJ was able to reach the 1,400-yard mark twice in consecutive seasons, and if you asked me if I thought who I thought was more talented between AJ and Devonta, I would honestly say it's a toss-up. I think AJ also obviously has more physical strength and maybe might be better at contested catches, but Devonta has a very wide share of contested catches throughout his career as well. And in general, I would say is a slightly better route runner than AJ and gets more separation. AJ actually was one of the lowest rated receivers in terms of separation over the last 2 years, even though he was still able to out-muscle and really go up for those balls in ways that smaller receivers sometimes have trouble with. But I think Smitty's going to be wide open in this Sean Mannion offense, and he's going to be running free, catching everything that Hurts throws to him. And these are the reasons why I think Smitty's going to break out this year. And again, my final stat prediction is 1,400 yards and 11 touchdowns and anywhere from 95 to 110 catches. Thank you for watching the video. I'm sorry I haven't been posting recently. I've been busy, and I'm currently on vacation though, so I'll be able to upload more consistently. And until next time, stay soaring.